quick question. Is it just me, or is anybody else like, I don't give a fuck anymore? I watched before. I used to watch like, I don't know, Young Ripper. I still watch him. Um, Greg Gutfeld, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, fucking Steven Crowder, Dan Bongino, Ben Shapiro. I know there's one more. Russ Brand. I still watch him a bit. But most of them, man, talking about the same shit for fucking 2 years now. And none of yous are getting it. Not one of those shows. Sorry, Young Ripa and Russell Brand are really close. But the rest of them, they're just... I don't know. They're still lost or whatever. Like they're children of wokeness. But it's not even that they're woke. They're just the other side. Conservatives and liberals are used to be that they were the same, right? And that they were both just suckers, right? And scammers and weasels, that like politicians, right? And then the people who voted for them and stuck up for them and talked about them and stuff like that, they weren't scammers and weasels. They were just suckers, right? And so you get these two choices to vote for, right? But but it's like this. If I give you, I don't know, if I got this in one hand and this in the other hand, and I say, here, you guys can choose. Did you really have a choice? Or did I make the choice already? Right? Because there's 1,000 of this product, and there's 10,000 or 20,000 of this product. But I chose these two products, and now you're getting a choice. You can choose this lip balm or this body oil that I make if you want to buy it. This is a $50 bottle of Miracle Cream. It's really good for your skin, but it's also good for burns, arthritis, skin cancer, joint pain, muscle pain. I wouldn't put it on open wounds, but you could, and you could eat it too. Really, it's all organic. Anyway, you didn't really get a choice. You just you either you got to choose on my choices. Anyway, sorry, I digest. These guys, all these shows, and everything they're talking about, and all the stuff that the politicians are doing, and like Lori Lightfoot's thing that she just did. Biden just came out, or his White House just came out with something that they're going to, I don't know, they're going to, they're like pushing harder on vaccinations. People getting vaccinated for this Omicron thing. Now, the problem here is COVID was here, deadly wise, okay? Car accidents are here, just to give you, heart attacks aren't even on this scale. But okay, COVID's here. And then Delta was more transmissible, but death-wise, it was here. And now Omicron is down here. right? So seems to me like we beat it. Everybody that wanted to get vaccinated is vaccinated. Um, you can believe that they worked or they didn't. Doesn't matter. Either way, we're over the threshold. We're past the fear. Um, so why is it still a conversation at all? And then even the political thing, unless you're like Young Ripa or Russell Brand, where you're saying neither side is really that great, and we need to come up with a better way of filtering that system. Maybe the system's okay. It kind of almost works, but we just need better filters on it and restraints, better restraints on it, and maybe a parallel life with it, where there's something else, like hippie commune kind of ideas, or like Amish farmish kind of lifestyles that are set right up. Everywhere that people could just go to and live, because a lot of people would choose that lifestyle. Not full Amish of no technology, no cameras, no this, no that, but like just where we say, okay, now this is the cap on it. We don't need tractors that drive themselves. We'll go drive the tractors. We don't need milking machines to milk the cows. We'll go milk the cows and pet them and brush them and talk to them, treat them like animals. And then when it comes time to need some beef, if we have to kill one or whatever, we'll do it in such a way that it's almost ceremonial for the animal, so that God's involved, and it's peaceable, and it's and he had a good life up to this point, and he was happy, and it's just a better way of living, an alternative way of living. And that alternative way of living and better way of living would actually supply a more healthy choice, affordable, healthy choice to the people who choose to go into the city way and the industrious military way of living. So we do it here in Canada already, where we have native reserves, and then we have Canada, and really it's like two countries in the one country, and then we have Quebec, which is another country within our country, all underneath one government, that really at any moment we could all go to war with each other. We all don't like each other very much. Now, well, at least the French. The natives and the whites, it's tentative, but there's a lot of love, in my experience, with any of the natives I've met, anyways. Except now with the vaccine thing, they're sold right hook, line, and sinker. But so I did get not a fight, but like a back and forth with a native fella a few weeks ago. I went and took some druthers into his pot shop and tried to have a conversation with him about vaccines and stuff, and he got very insulted. Anyway, and very uneducated, but you can tell he's getting government subsidies and stuff like that. The government keeps them down by over socializing them Like the programs and the social programs and the protections and the things that they get, uh, keep them subservient, I guess. But there's no need of it. And technically, it keeps our country down to do that, and it keeps them down because most of the reserves are like the hood in the States. It's almost comparably, almost identical. Um, and that's because they're both Hebrews, so they're treated the same by the powers that be, which are Esau. It only makes sense when you know all the little things about all this stuff. It makes a lot more sense as you know the history and all the history of those people and stuff like that, who everybody is. Um, anyway, so getting rid of that division and the French division, because that one's really bad. The Quebec is just toxic. It's a toxic province. And they want to separate from Canada and stuff. They go on about separating. I have an idea about that, but it's not nice. I'll tell you. Separate y'all, right? But at the same rate, because we're, as New Brunswickers, Maritimers, stuck on the other side of Quebec. We're separated from all the rest of Canada by this asshole. I'd rather become a state. We border Maine as much as more than we border Quebec. Maine's like most of our border, and we're right on the coast and everything. We're one of the harbor cities, a couple of the harbor cities of the world, and ports, and we got shipbuilding and oil industry and gas industry and all kinds of stuff going on right here in this little tiny province. And we're not little or tiny, we're huge, big landmass. Love to be a state. Would absolutely love that. And we vote conservative, which kind of, right now isn't good for the states, but it'll be good for the states if they deal with their separation, which would be a lot better for us than going to war with Quebec over grounds and saying, we'll go to war with you and winner take all or whatever, and we'll either all go French or we'll all go English with the rest of the world. Catch up. Maybe go Spanish as a second language or Mandarin, Chinese, which would make a lot more sense because it's like the business language and the mathematical language, and they'd go together really well together. So, and that's the other superpower. So it's good to know their language. There's not a lot of French-speaking countries in the world, and the ones that aren't overly thought of as overly powerful superpowers in the world, and they hate Quebec, and they don't consider Quebec French even French because it's such a mess. It's not even really any kind of French. It's its own thing. And then Maritimer French is its own different thing again. We screw it right up. Big time. We mess it right up. But anyway, going on about nothing. Yeah. I forget what I was even talking about at the fucking start now on the video. I got going on about that stuff so much. Got me all heated and passionate about... Oh, I remember. Those guys not talking about anything. None of their shows interest me anymore. None of what they're saying interests me anymore. I know they're just shills and suckers, and that's the other reason that I do videos, because at least I'm saying something that's real. Half of it gets taken down, or more, but at least what gets on, what weasels through the cracks, is something that's real if you can happen to stumble across me. It's at least, I don't know. At least I'm saying the actual problems and truth of the day, or trying to. I know that, like I said, a couple other people are trying to, but it is hard. Fighting against YouTube on YouTube is super hard. Um, I had that conversation about technology with a guy a while ago, and he was saying that we need more technology in the world to save us from all of our problems. And I argued and said, well, no, most of our problems are due to technology. If we had less of it, it'd be better. And like I was just talking about, where we need like that kind of middle ground where it's, something more earthy. We're not designed for technology. We're clearly designed. Everything about your body is so perfect and so articulately designed and made, and to fit into the earth, and then the earth so articulately made, and everything's so mathematical. It's clearly a design, and so perfect, and evolution and all that's bullshit. There's no, it's physically impossible. And why would you think that an animal in the past could do something that we can't do today, is one argument like that. But I do think that an animal in the past could have done a lot of things that we can't do today, including interspecies breeding. But that all got stopped after the flood, and all those species got slaughtered right off the earth. The ones that were saved were all pure, and then that ability was taken away, I believe, by changing the frequency of the earth, because that ability was due to breeding with the angels. It was that interbreed that allowed all the other interbreeds, right? Once an angel and a woman laid together, made Nephilim. That Nephilim could go and screw a fish and make a mermaid. He could go screw a bull and make a bull man. And he could go screw whatever he wanted to and make whatever he wanted to. Lilith thought she was a creator god because of her daughter. And the angels, the fallen angels, all seen themselves the same way, as creator gods. Even though, how is that described? Their powers of creation, Adam says it, their powers of creation are, I forget the quote now. It was pretty, of course it was pretty, it was from Adam. More well thought and well spoken than I could ever be, that's for sure. The gist of it, yeah, whatever, I'm losing it, I can't remember what it was that he said. I just read that book yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Anyway, that's what I'm starving for more of, is books of the past. There's no true knowledge of today out there anymore. A friend of mine on Facebook said that. Not a friend. Yeah, a friend. Jan. So I'm assuming she, but it says he, so I don't know. Anyways, they're one of those people that don't have a face on Facebook. That's weird. Jan is a troll who I friended because they're intelligent. They're not a troll. I don't like calling people that. Someone of the opposite opinion than me, and of opposite thought processes than me on flat earth, on all of it, and that's why I keep her around. And that her and I were talking about just that, and I'm running out of space. I'm gonna have to